Welcome, Gemini, to your September beginning of the month reading. Hope your friends are doing great out there. If your friends like this, hit that big old like button. Okay, guys, let's see what's going on with you in September. Can't believe it's September already. Crazy. Moving right along. Okay, best messages coming out. We have the Six of Cups. A lot of nostalgicness going on. It doesn't really surprise me, though. Okay, let's see what's going on. Having the control. Okay, and the next part coming out. Let's see. The love and moving on. Okay. So if they're really thinking about those nostalgic times at this time as you're really moving on from whatever energy is going on, it's almost like I'm going to just worry about my joy, my stability, the happy times, really thinking about what makes me happy, returning back to past happy moments as you're moving forward. Let's see what you're moving forward. As you're moving on. Clarify I'm moving on, please. Listening to your intuition. It's almost like my intuition says it's time for me to move on from my own passion, my own heart. And these are both heart cards. So definitely saying that this is where my compassion is. I'm going to do this for myself. Maybe even saying, you know what? Sometimes if we live it could be that if we love someone so much, it's best to leave them be, right? Because we just don't get along. Or you're doing it for yourself and you're saying, I can't stay here no more. Right? I need to listen to my intuition and say, time is now. It's time to move forward for my own self love, for my own, worthiness, for my own good, you know, however, my own goodwill, my own life. I can't stay here anymore. This is where you feel like you're going to get your control back and really feeling like this is what's needed to happen. Okay, so this is the time where you're really going to embrace your world. So it does look like you are making a new chapter, my friends, within your life, turning that page, saying it's time to move on from this. I can't stay here anymore. It's just not, maybe it's not healthy for you. Maybe it's not healthy for us. Take it however it resonates. Okay. It could be it could be a job. It doesn't have to be a love. It could be have more self-respect in myself. I will look back at here and say, there was some great times that I had at this job, but it's time for me to move on. I have a better success in my life. I have healthier things going on. Um, so wherever you're moving on from, but that it's time. It's time to say goodbye, think of the good, and move on. Carrie Woodway Sun over here. Planning in progress, moving on. There it is. Knowing that this is the time that I need to leave. That's a card of leaving. Finding that happiness, obtaining the goals that I need. Maybe you've got to the point to where you're in a job that you just know there's no more promotions. You've got as high as you can within this job. There's nothing left in this job for me to attain. I can't move any higher than I am. So it's time for me to find a new job, something that pays better, has better benefits. I've done what I can here, and I just need to move on for my own happiness, my own well-being. However, if it's a love relationship, same thing, right? Maybe that person can't grow with you anymore. Maybe they've branched out as much as they're going to branch out, right? They've only grown so many leaves, but they're supposed to be this flowering tree, but for some reason they can't flower. Have you ever had a tree? And I know I had. My grandma had grown a peach tree that for some reason in the world it would never grow fruit. It's the only thing I never in my life, like, isn't this thing supposed to have fruit on it? Like, how? How is this thing never having flowers? It has to flower first to make fruit, and this thing never had a flower. It's like it just could never get to that point of maturity to grow fruit. It's the craziest thing. I've never, right? I've never in my life, like, how is that possible? I'll never forget that because I thought that was the craziest thing. And I thought the craziest thing was is this was a full grown tree, and we had these little dwarf trees, little peach trees that grew little tiny, peaches. And this tree never grew fruit. I mean, that tree is still there to this day. So it just gets to the point where you just feel exhausted and kind of burned out. Like you've been here, your longevity it's just dead. I'm done. It could even be that it's more stressful being here than it's worth it. You're starting to isolate yourself. Maybe you feel alone in the relationship. Maybe no one at work, maybe everybody at work that you knew got fired or moved on, and now you got new employees that coworkers, excuse me, that don't talk to you. Maybe employees, maybe you're the boss. They don't really, you know, uh, speak with you, interact with you. Maybe you kind of feel like the black sheep of the group. Maybe you and your loved one or whatever, maybe you guys are kind of on the wrong page and you just don't have, time together. You never, you know what I mean? Like everything's dying. Whatever the situation is, it's best for you to move on for yourself. Yeah. Yeah, intuition again, so you can feel more comfortable. There's also this thing of comfort. I don't feel as comfortable. That can also be where the burnout is, though, too, because and restlessness. I don't feel as comfortable. Lack of commitment on their side. Maybe they're lazy. Maybe they're procrastinating. Maybe there's too much bad news going around. Maybe you work with a bunch of people who are irresponsible. Maybe you work in that restaurant with a bunch of lazy waitresses who are texting all day long. And it's like, my God, your table's sitting over there and they're waiting for water and you're too busy texting your boyfriend. You feel like you're doing all the work. Take it how it resonates. Everybody's story is different, but there's definitely something going on over here where you know for a fact the only way that you can build your future at this time and move on with your life in a healthy situation where you feel more comfortable and feel like you're achieving something, right, is to say goodbye to the past, hello to tomorrow, hello to my future. Because your future has so much more. It might be slow at start, but you definitely have the Ace of Cups. It's a place that you're going to feel more fulfilled, a place where your heart feels like it's where it's supposed to be, a place of peace instead of exhaustion and burnout. Feel like you're struggling all the time, a place of love and inner communication, a place of inner happiness, contentment. And yes, rebuilding can always be a little bit slow, but this is definitely where it's slow and steady wins the race. You're going to feel like you have a better investment in the situation where you can actually grow something that's a better building foundation. Three of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. Slow, steady of building something, a better place for you. Feeling like you are the Empress. And that's very important. It's very important that we feel like we're the Empress and we're the Emperor. It's a good thing to feel this way because this is where you feel like you have the accomplishment. This is where you feel like you're evolving for the better. A place where you feel whole. So I do see that there is definitely, wherever you're going, if it's a new profession, there will be success. Because you might have a place now where your financial life has just not been fruitful. Maybe it just stopped or it never really ever was and you just kept throwing all this time into something that just never was good for you. Just always troubled you. Okay. So now it's time to throw the towel in. Say your goodbyes. Look at things that you really want, things that you are definitely nostalgic about in life. Looking at things that, you know what, maybe this is what I wanted when I was 17, so maybe I'm going to go find that. Having that feeling of wanting something beautiful and amazing. Venetian Galactic Council, Star Being guides you, answering your new call, and it's time for you to shine. But I feel like that's what your intuition's already telling you. It's telling you, you're right. It is time to throw the towel in. You are right. It is time for you to take new steps. Turn that leaf over, answer this call, but don't worry because you're guided. Your guides are there guiding you along this way. Never feel like you're alone. There's no such thing as being alone. You're only alone if you actually make yourself 100% alone. But even then, they're still walking behind you. Right? There's a difference between walking hand in hand with your spirit guides and walking, because even if you, right, they're still behind you no matter what. I'll give you a numerology card. 222, actually it's 222, excuse me. Alignment, connection, friendships, romantic relationships, family times, balance, life choices, compromise, commitment, and trust. How do you move forward? So your angels want to ask you. Actually, it actually goes here, but we're going to put it here so you can really see it. Right? How do you move forward towards your life's true calling? Guys, just see this for a second. What did I just say? Answer the call. Do what makes you happy. Excuse me. Your enthusiasm is what keeps you going. Follow your interest if it's piqued by something. Following these routes will help you discover your life's purpose. And what did we say? Going back to nostalgic times to look at what piques your interest. What was it that made you dream the big dream? That's what it sounds like you're doing. You're going back after those nostalgic memories or ideas of what piqued your interest, made you happy. I said that before I even grabbed this card. This card is literally on there to here. 2 cards in one. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're saying, I have to go back after something that makes me happy. I'm going to think of nostalgic things that make me happy. I'm going to think of times within my life that makes me feel like this is the path I need to get back on. Because wherever that moment was, whatever that idea was, that's what really made you happy. Because here, you're losing energy. There's no growth. So you can just look back on it and say, you know what? I had a great journey on this journey. It was great for a while. I learned some stuff. Maybe I had some bad times, good times. Get all Zeppelin on you, good times, bad times. We've had our share. But you know what? It's okay. Because in the end, you're going to embrace, you're walking a new journey. It's time for something new, something more exciting, something that's, looks like it could grow. If you run into the same issue again, guess what? Life's not over. You can do it again. Move on, think again, do it again. And as you do so, you're building stepping stones within your life to get to where it is your true 100% accomplishments are. You will make it. Keep telling yourself, because you will. There's always bumps in the road. There's no such thing as not. Even the wealthiest billionaires on this planet can tell you. Look at Elon Musk. He makes bumps in the road all the time. But it doesn't kill him. It makes him stronger. It makes him think. It makes him go back and say, shit, I have to do something about that. There's no such thing as not being on a roller coaster. There's no such thing as not having negativity. We live in a world of duality, negative versus positive. But what we do with it is what makes us stronger, makes us accomplish those dreams. What we do with it is what makes us grow stronger and learn. Welcome to Earth, your school. Pass the grade, my friends. Until next time, peace and love. Bye-bye.